Yo, no right. Green Bay faithful, talking with me on a chase to a Super Bowl. Fans still suck, let me let you know. With the kids bringing trophies home, cheeseheads me living this. Victory tastes sweeter than licorice. Got that Lamborghini spirit. Opponents just fear it. Y'all can hear it now.
What is up, everybody? It is the Matt Ramage Show, and if you're watching Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at, subscribe, hit that button, you know what I mean? Hit the button! And big shout out to everyone watching or listening on the podcast audio. They're probably taking their kids to school right now, you know what I mean? And now you got me over on the speakers. But we got Eric in the building over here. We're going to talk about some Packers today. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing great. Happy Monday, fella.
Happy Monday, dude. Monday night. All right. I'm off tomorrow, Eric, so I ain't gonna lie to you. I've had a couple.
I just got back from vacation, actually, and I'm first day back from vacation today. So yeah. As you can see, all week I was pounding beers throughout the week. So
so now you're here with me. Are you drinking right now?
Yep.
What do you got going on?
Oh, yep, just hanging out. We got to measure up for my son's wedding. We got some suits done, so life is pretty good, and I'm drinking a Hams. Land of Sky Blue Waters. Freaking love it.
Drinking a Hams. But congratulations to you, your son, your family over there.
Yep. Busy.
Yeah, dude.
Busy.
I got a little bit of that coming up over here, over my life. But I want to say what's up to everyone in the chat. We got Steve Z in the building. What's up? How you doing? And then Car Guy 72. And Steve says, "What's up, Eric?" You know what I mean? You got friends on this show.
Steve, Car Guy too, right? 72. That's when my wife was born. 72.
72. All right, maybe you don't throw that out there in the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's a lot younger than me, so I don't want to tell you when I was born.
All right, no, you know what I mean. All right, here we go. I'm not trying to get in trouble. What's up, the Green Bay guy? All right, so what we got going on the show tonight? We got I think we got 2 voicemails and a text message. I'm trying to get this voicemail show kind of going. I want every episode where I just answer voicemails. Any thought you have about the Packers, like this season, something that happened, you got something you want to vent about it, you want to talk about it, call my number, which I should have here ready for me, which I do not. I might have it on a banner over here, but I want you to call the number. I posted it on social media all the time. I posted it today, but I want to hear from the people. I want this show, Eric, to be about not just me, not just who I have on with me, but like the people watching, people listening. Call in or text if you don't want to, have your voice out in the world. Text, email, whatever. I have all that stuff out there. And I think that this could be a show for the people. You know what I mean, Eric?
Like that? Could be that. And you love the people, fella. So you love the people when they engage in your stuff.
Yeah, I love people on the internet. People in real life, you know what I mean? It's a little bit different. But that's what we're going to do today. But what do you got there, Eric?
Oh, I was going to say, this guy, Car Guy, gave me a shout out to him. My man cave looks badass, he said.
Dude, it does.
That's only a little corner of it. Matt's seen it. There's a lot here.
Yeah, we have a lot. And maybe we'll do another video of that real soon of showing everything that Eric has over there. Because you added a few things. You upgraded
a bit. Here and there, yeah.
But it's always been great. But let's get into this. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors. We got great sponsors of the Matt Ramage Show, Eric. We got Quick Trip and we have Nicolay Law. So this season, a lot of people coming to Green Bay, a lot of people visiting Wisconsin. All you need to know, stop at Quick Trip. You're going to see the Quick Trip. Quick Trip with the K, all right? If there's any other letter, it starts with any other letter, not so good. So Quick Trip with a K, and go in there. They got the hot spot. They got food ready for you, waiting on you. They're just like, they know you're coming. Show up. The food's ready for you. And get the macaroni and cheese and the chicken. That's just my opinion.
Or they can get the flatbread ham and Swiss sandwich. I'm telling you. What I mean? That's slapping, as the young kids say. That slaps. That and the pork sandwich with some jalapenos added to it. Love it.
There you go. So yeah, you have lots of options over there at Quick Trip, but they got all your barbecue needs, your tailgate and whatnot. They got the ice, they got the cheese, they got the burgers, they got the brats, they got all the stuff that you might need. So check them out. And Nicolay Law, if you get injured in a car accident, and the insurance companies, they're not going to give you what you're due, but Nicolay Law is going to fight for you and they're real people, in the community. Russell Nicolais is a regular dude. He's got a tattoo of the Wisconsin, the shape of Wisconsin on his forearm. He's just a regular dude. He's just really smart and a wicked cool lawyer. You know what I mean? So check out Nicolais Law. Go to nicolaislaw.com and all that good stuff. But all right, so let's get into this thing a little bit. Let's check in with the first comment that I see. It says it's from Greg Haynes. He says, "Hello, Matt from Strawberry Plains. How was family night? I will call, but here's my prediction. Golden will be big time and NFL Rookie of the Year. The skills are shown in camp already." All right, so I wasn't at family night. And, I actually didn't watch too much of it, which it's kind of rare. But I was doing other things. I was in my backyard drinking beer. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Golden Tate actually it kind of ruined one of my later text messages that I got from someone. But we're gonna talk about it anyway. So Golden Tate. Or not Golden
Tate, Matthew Golden, bro.
I'm a little buzzed up, Eric. Hang with me.
Oh yeah, I can't stand the Golden Tate fella. We remember him, don't we?
Oh, we do. I don't know why that popped
Detroit
up.
line.
I apologize to anyone watching, listening. Let me edit this out. All right, Matthew Golden. How are you feeling about him in camp? Everything that I've been hearing about camp has been great. I'm gonna go to training camp tomorrow morning, by the way.
Yeah.
But Matthew Golden.
Golden.
Everyone's saying the right thing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, his hands have been phenomenal. His route running.
Yep.
He fights through the ball. I think he's going to be really, really good. I would caution everybody to be too much that he's going to be the NFL Rookie of the Year, because you got to remember what Green Bay still has. And we have a plethora of receivers that, and let's just call it what it's going to be. I think you're going to see a lot more running out of this offense still.
Oh, yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Than a lot of offenses. So he may not put up the numbers, but when they use him, he's going to be intense. But yeah, he's great. I mean, so it's an incredible pick. I think he's going to do wonderful, wonderful things. I think it's going to be him and Jordan Love for the future. Now it's going to be kind of like the Devontae Rodgers thing, right? They're going to grow together and really become something. But at the end of the day, it's an incredible pick. So, applause to Brian Gutekunst with his pick.
Goody,
I'm giving
Goody.
Give it to Goody.
Give it to Goody. No, I agree. Like, yeah, I get expectations are like really high, but like, yeah, he might not have to have that load. But I feel like if given the opportunities and he just like excels and he's just popping off, and because like everything that we're seeing, he's his routes are crisp. Like he doesn't look like a rookie out there. A lot of people are saying. Yeah. So like if he does pop off, and he's hot, they're gonna keep it going to him, and then who knows what will happen. I'm very optimistic, Eric.
Yeah.
And I do agree with, and I know you are too, but I do agree with that Josh Jacobs point. They're going to rerun the ball, and there's other people to catch the ball. I think Tucker Kraft's going to have a year. He has a little injury right now. Hopefully, it's nothing crazy. But I do want to get to this comment right here from Iowa Joe, talking about family night.
Joe is back.
He said Ramage was passed out in the gutter, so he didn't make it to family night. No, I was just hanging out with the wife in the backyard.
That's not true, because I was texting with you on family night. I was in the pool watching it on TV.
I was definitely not in the gutter. I was in my backyard, which some might consider a gutter. We have a little kid pool back there. We got a little above ground garden going on back there. We're trying to work it up a little bit. But let's see what Jesse says. He said, "Did you see that Jordan Love stuck up for Rodgers earlier today? I've got to meet Rodgers, and he is a down to earth guy. I don't know why people say he's rude, because he isn't." So let's talk about that quote real quick. I'm gonna bring this up on my phone, and I'm gonna talk to make it seem longer. All right, so here we go. Eric, this is the quote from Jordan Love. "I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a guy with 5-star pedigree. I'm my own man with my own story, and I want to make my own mark on this franchise. I want to write my own chapter here, following in the footsteps of the legends who wore the G before me." And I will say, because like Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love did exactly what he was supposed to do, right? When Aaron Rodgers was under Brett Favre, he didn't say anything. He just kept to himself, but like publicly, He didn't say anything. He said all the right things he was supposed to say when the reporters talked to him. He just learned. He just kept his head down and got after it. Jordan Love did that same exact thing. Doesn't matter what drama is going on around you. The media is trying to be the media frenzy situation. Jordan Love, like Aaron Rodgers, said all the right things, didn't get out of turn. And when it's his time to shine, though, now this is his team. And, you don't want to compare him because just like Aaron Rodgers, you don't want to compare him to Favre. You don't want to compare Jordan Love to Rodgers. But I like what I see so far. He was injured last year. And people kind of forget that when they talk about his stats and they bring up all that stuff. But he was injured. I'm stoked to see a healthy Jordan Love. And he earned his spot. And this is the year for him. What do you think?
It is absolutely the year, and I'm going to call it everybody on this because Jordan Love on any other team would be considered an outstanding quarterback with an incredible future. Only in Green Bay would they put him under the microscope and say, well, he only had 54 touchdowns in his first 2 years. Are you kidding me? Right? If you look at what Jordan Love has accomplished in his first 2 years as a starter, it's heads and tails. I mean, he's thrown for more yards, again, let's call it out, than the Bears ever have. Okay, so all these things are really facts. Jordan Love, I think, is a class act. And a lot of times people want to get into judging players' characters. Like when Favre left, he was a bad guy. And when he went to the Vikings. And then Rodgers, when he left, he was a bad guy. Everybody kind of goes through this until they come back home. And then everything all is forgotten, right? Because usually players of those calibers never have a good breakup with their team when it's time. Because it's just not going to be a good breakup. Yeah. And it's going to happen that way. And then they come back home and they're going to finish. I'm very, very confident Rodgers is going to come back and finish as a Packer. That's how he's going to retire. And if he doesn't, that's on him. But at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. But Jordan Love, the key thing that he talked about is the G. He talked about the team. And the one thing about Love against Favre or Rodgers, it kind of emulates with Bart Starr is he's worried about the team. He's worried about the team going somewhere more than he is worried about his own stats and what he wants to accomplish. So from a character standpoint, not judging what was there previously or anything else, but Jordan Love stands on his own, and he is a man, and he's going to kill it this year, and there's going to be a lot of apologies for this guy at the end of the year.
Dude, preach it, Eric. I agree with 100% everything that you said. And I've talked to you many times that I don't always say that.
I do say it all the time.
That's what your wife crazy. Always says. I agree with you 100%.
If Jordan Love was on the Bears, they would consider him God. Yeah. They're considering Caleb Haney the next coming, and he hasn't done squat.
Dude, that's the thing. I think that the expectations in Green Bay at quarterback level is so high, but like Jordan Love, his first year as a starter did his thing. And it was like, all right, it was a good year. It was a good first year. It was like, hey, 4,000 yards. Bears quarterback has never, ever done that in the history of their whole life. So like that was good. The second year, people talking about, well, he fell back a little bit. He declined. Well, he was hurt. He had 2 injuries. And his numbers still, if you take his name out of it, you just talk about his numbers. They're not horrible, and
they're great. Actually, they're great. I think they're great. They're good. They're good numbers. They're not bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not at all. They're not bad at all. So like, and there was a lot of drops last year too. It wasn't just him. Like he obviously he missed some stuff like with his injury, like he not be able to roll out real good and throw on the run type situations. But like I expect this year it's going to be good. He's got a young rookie wide receiver we talked about, Matthew Golden. And then I think Romeo Doubs is going to pop up. I think all these guys kind of feel that, like with talking about all the drops last year, Wicks and all these guys. Tucker Kraft, I think, is going to pop off. Hopefully, like we talked about that earlier. Hopefully that injury isn't too bad. But I expect this passing game. Like I feel like they all were waiting this whole offseason, be like, dude, they've been talking some stuff about us dropping balls and whatnot. Like, let's go out here and get after it. I expect to pass. And like you say, they have the running game. Like Josh Jacobs is going to be a big part of this team. He's such a great leader. Like you see him, all the clips, even through training camp and whatnot. He's coaching guys up. He's kind of being that leader. I think this offense is in good shape.
Josh Jacobs left the Raiders. And no knock on the Raiders, but Let's just call it what it is. It's the Raiders. And then they came to Green Bay, and he's like, "Holy crap! This is how a real NFL team works.
This is what a football team
what it looks like, right?" I gone from the Raiders, and nobody cares, to Green Bay, where I'm a god like overnight. And Josh Jacobs is an incredible. Again, I think they're going to be a huge ball control offense. I think we're going to see way more of Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft than we know about. I think there's a lot of things in order, and then our wide receivers are going to be taking the top off the defenses. But, I still believe that's not even going to be the caveat of our team. I think our defense is going to come to play, and I think there's going to be a defense that nobody's expecting at this point because it's quietly underground right now. Nobody's saying a lot, and everybody's worried about Lucas Van Ness and all this other stuff. We got this kid Stackhouse who's just killing it. And again, he's going to be really, really good. So at the end of the day, Green Bay is going to be very well-rounded. But yeah, Matthew Golden is the stuff. I think that's where we started, though. And Jordan Love with the comment, right? It's Jordan Love's a man. He's a class act. Yep.
Yeah.
And
all love to Jordan Love. So we got one more comment. Then I want to get to some calls over here. Right? Okay. We might have a few more comments after that. I don't know. We'll see. But Chris asked, you guys think Van Ness will make the jump this year? I really want him to break out. It seems like that's what's happening from all the reports in training camp. Like he had to let up a few times because he like broke free. And I think at family night, he beat Jordan Morgan big enough where they tweeted all about it. It was a big kind of thing on Twitter. So I do think that Van Ness is going to make that jump. I feel like I think that these players hear it too a little bit. I don't think that they care too much about what people are saying, but I think they're already riled up or whatever. But I don't think it hurts when people are kind of chirped last year about this pass rush. I mean, I have too, not just Van Ness. I'm over here trashing players, but like the pass rush as a whole hasn't been that. They hear that, so I think that they probably dug deep this offseason, and I think Van Ness, dude. He's coming to play. I hope Rashawn Gary's, same and just get after it because they got a new defensive line coach, so that hopefully that helps. But yeah, the whole defensive line as a whole, the pass rush needs to get after it. So you think Van Ness makes that jump?
Yeah, I think Van Ness makes that jump, and I think there's a couple key components of that as well. Because Adrian Cooper, in his second year, who was highly underutilized, right? They only used him in spot plays. That kid is going to be incredible as well. So it's a lot more than will Lucas Van Ness make the jump. Lucas Van Ness will learn the defense now and be able to flourish in the defense now. You got to remember last year he was in his second year, right? And he was trying to figure it out because we brought in a new defensive coordinator. He was trying to get it all figured out. And at times he was in the right place and at times he wasn't. Now, I think this defense is ready. Everybody's going to say this about our defense and the pass rush and everything else. And just forgive me if I'm off by one or two, but I believe our overall defense was ranked number 8 in the NFL, number 5 in points. I mean, it's not like we were crap. I mean, and they were number 4 in turnovers too. So it's not like it was a bad defense. At times we didn't get the pass rush we needed. Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, it's one step away from a killer defense like Jaws, like killer sharks. Like everybody's going to be murdered, and it's going to be very, very good this year. I'm very, very excited for what the defense comes. So
I like that, dude. I spotlighted a few comments. We got some good comments coming up that we're going to get to these calls. But the first one, a little negative from Ron Talk Sports. But he said, I'm a little worried about Jordan Morgan, and I kind of get that because everyone's talking about like we just talked about Van Ness kind of beat him there. So what are your thoughts of Jordan Morgan? I'm not an offensive line guy where I don't try to sound smart, talk about the offensive line, but Jordan Morgan, he was a high pick. What are your feelings on him?
I got to watch a little bit of him last Sunday. I had to go to the Packer practice and get some guy a bucket hat. So I went there and then I watched the practice. And Morgan looks good. A lot of the offensive line looks good. And having our center, Elton Jenkins come back too. You guys got to remember, this is all plug and play. And if we need to make adjustments and move, we can. But with Elton Jenkins coming back saying, I'm good playing center, this is what I want to do, and he's coming to show up, I just really think that solidified everything for us. And again, if the majority of the time we're running the ball, Jordan Morgan is going to run people over. He's not going to be taken advantage of. The only thing we have to concern ourselves is with that pass rush. But again, we have a two tight end alignment, right? And they're running the right backs out of there. They're going to protect him a little bit, and he's going to learn and grow. When's the last time our offensive line was a serious problem? I'll wait. Yeah. Okay, so now, that's where we're at, right? Because the offensive line has always been good. For some reason, Green Bay has been phenomenal at Zach Tom. Nobody knew who Zach Tom was. And now this guy is, considered one of the top at his game. And he came in on, the 6th round? So all this being said, I think Jordan Morgan is going to be just fine. Let's not make it too much of a big problem, but I think they'll adjust as time goes on. The kid I was worried about, who was the backup, who really got burned in the Eagles game in the playoffs, was Telfort when he came in when Jenkins got hurt. And that kid looks a lot better now, too. I watched a lot of him at training camp, and his feet have gotten a lot faster.
Yeah, so, I don't try to talk about offensive line because I'm an idiot, just to be honest.
And just as an argument, they should sell beer at the practice. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to the next comment over here from Jesse. Then we're gonna get some calls over here. Yeah. One guy that I think that will have a big year, number 24, Carrington Valentine. It's his time to shine this year. What do you all think? Valentine learned from the best cornerback, John Money, for a few years. I can tell he is ready. And I think for the whole quarterback situation, what do you feel like Valentine? They just re-signed Valentine, not to be confused with Valentine. But the very similar names being the same team. That's always been weird to me.
That's kind of rhymer, right? It's Valentine or Valentine.
It's brutal if you have a podcast and you drink a lot while you do it. You know what I mean?
Well, but good thing I'm not drinking. I got to get a Hams in a minute, though. I'm getting a little warm in here.
What do you think? Not just about Valentine, but Valentine and the rest of the secondary. What are we thinking?
Again, I think our pass rush improves. I think our linebacker play is going to improve, and I think our secondary isn't going to have the pressure that it's had. So McKinney is still back there, everybody, just in case everybody's wondering.
Yeah.
We still have X back there, right? And Bullard back there. And I think we're going to be just fine. Keyshawn Nixon is there. Again, I don't think he's a Pro Bowler, but I think he's a very, very solid cornerback. But this Nate Hobbs, he's the real deal. And he's going to punch people in the face. I don't, he's been pretty brutal, right? And I think that's great.
He's playing other teams.
Yeah. not our own, right? So he's not carrying running backs over the side of the fence. But my point is, I think we're going to be just fine. I think Valentine will be just fine. And again, I'm not taking away from Jair, but Jair had such a rough time getting on the field for the last 2 years. And I think it was the right move after everything is said and done. I know everybody got a little emotional about it, but it's a business, right? And if we're paying that kind of money, we can't get somebody on the field. We need to make a change. But I think the defense, again, overall is going to be very, very solid. And I think our secondary is going to grow from that. And they're going to learn from that. This kid Brown at family night had 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Right. That's because because that's the front end, right? The front end's causing these quick throws and these things happening because the rush is getting there.
Yeah,
I'm good.
That's the thing. Like, if your pass rush isn't there, you put the secondary in shambles. Like, they can't hold it forever. So you need some type of pass rush. You need a consistent pass rush. You need to get after the quarterback because that's going to kill you. But I want to get to some calls here. I appreciate every comment. I appreciate everyone who's tuning in right now. You guys are
I'll get a beer
awesome.
while you're doing that.
Yeah. So we're going to get this call ready. I think we got 3 calls and a text message, or no, 2 calls and a text message. So I want to get to these, but we're going to give a shout out real quick over here. We got, you were close. Ross says, hello from another older guy in Charlotte, South Carolina. How's Isaiah Simmons looking? Think he can crack the lineup? What do you think, Eric?
I think he makes the lineup. It's going to be tough with McDuffie as well. We'll see. But yeah, I think he makes it.
Yeah, there's your expert analyst over here from Eric. All right, so we're going to get to some calls here, Eric. You ready?
Absolutely. Cheers.
Hopefully this works because I'm trying to do it right from my speakerphone right over here. All right, here we go.
What up, Maddie Ram? It's D to the H, Doug Hype in his house. We saw family night. We saw fireworks, explosions, defense flying around like crazy. But this is my question for you, sir, Mr. Matty Ram. We saw the offense. It looked a lot like last year, kind of stifled in the red zone. Who is going to step up this year on third down in the red zone? Who's going to be the go-to dude that Jordan Love goes to get over that hump, to get us deep in the playoff run, baby? Let's go. Go, Pack, go.
Could you hear that good?
Yeah, I could hear that good.
All right, so who is that? For Christopher, I want to do a lot more of those, but I want to make sure that you guys don't hear it good. But who is that dude? I have a guy that popped in. Yeah, I was saying that the same name popped in my head in the red zone. Who does Jordan Love go to this year? It's going to be Tucker Kraft.
Yep, because he's going to catch the ball and punch somebody at the same time, and then he's going to run over him, and it's going to be a touchdown. So,
dude, I feel like he is on like a warpath. He's just like one of those guys that you see coming from like a mile away. I think he's my fantasy tight end, if I'm not mistaken. You can see how dialed in I am to fantasy.
Who did you draft with? Like elementary school kid?
It was a dynasty league. I think I've had him.
Okay, well, good for you.
League is? Yeah. But also like wide receiver wise, who like take out the tight end situation. Wide receiver wise, I'll tell you who I'm thinking right now. Romeo Doubs. I'm thinking
Romeo Doubs too. And it could be Matthew Golden with his hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to relive the drops, but again, everybody's got to remember there was a lot of drops around the end zone too, because I mean, when you took field goals instead of touchdowns. So I think it's Tucker Kraft, and on the wideouts, I think it's going to be Matthew Golden, and or in that short yardage part, or Jaden Reed. I think that's what's going to happen. So,
yeah, I appreciate you, JoJo, right here with the comment. But yeah, so let's get to another one. Yeah, I think it's going to be Kraft for like the most part, in like especially red zone situations. But I think Romeo Doubs is gonna. I feel like he's going to be like that. I wouldn't say veteran presence because I'm not sure they have that. I don't know if he's old enough for that. But I do feel like he's the guy that Jordan Love trusts. All right, so
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can call you Matty Ram though.
You know what I mean? Only the young kids can do that. I got a cat over here fight with me over here. So we got a call here from this is my buddy Garrett from WBAY. So let's see what he has to say.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, this is Garrett, your buddy from WBAY.
Told you.
Not really a question, but more of a hot take. My prediction for this next season is that Adrian Cooper will be a top 2 or 3 linebacker in the NFL, and he is most definitely going to get an All-Pro. Either first or second. I can't say which one, but that young man is going to be a stud. That is my prediction for this next season.
Yep. All right, so first of all, shout out to Garrett, WBAY. I'm a friend of the show. They said it on the show, Eric. I'm a friend of the show at WBAY.
I've heard that.
So
I've seen you on there.
Shout out to Steve Balon. Shout out to Emerson. Shout out to the whole crew over there. But so
cheers.
So yeah, he's like, I'll drink to that. So I forgot what he said in that.
Adrian Cooper.
Oh yeah,
Adrian Cooper is going to be the man. You heard that earlier, right? And I'm telling you, he's going to retire more people than Social Security. Adrian Cooper is going to be bad. He's going to be a bad man. And I guarantee you it's going to be incredible. It's amazing because last year, not seeing him play as much as I was like, why aren't we playing this guy more? And I understand he was making a lot of mistakes in his coverage and where he needed to be. And he's a rookie, right? And we went through that pain. But that guy is going to be something this year. It's going to be incredible to watch. Mark Garrett's words, right? Mark my words. Adrian Cooper, it's going to be a bad man.
I like it, Eric. No, I agree. He's the guy everyone's been talking about this whole offseason before like training camp started. Like, he was the guy that everyone said he's going to be a dude this year. So hopefully he lives up to the hype because the hype is up. You know what I mean? And I think he will. I think he deserves that hype. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he built his own hype, though, right? So
yeah, he ain't faking the funk over there, Eric. All right, so now we have a text message I want to get to, and this one I think we might have already covered this, but let's see. I'll be putting some money down soon on Matthew Golden to win Rookie of the Year. Go Pack, go! That's Eric in Green Bay.
Is that me?
No, that's not you. It's Eric with an A.
Damn, there's another Eric?
Arric.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Ain't nobody your age with the name Eric spelled like that.
No,
I ain't
I'm
hating
old
on
school.
this individual because he's awesome for sure. Calling in, texting in on my show. So he's awesome for sure. But like I'm saying is like they didn't start spelling stuff different in your time.
No. No, back then, no. They didn't even
they didn't even know how to spell hardly. They were like
there was stone tablets and chalkboards. That's what we wrote on.
They were like Little House on the Prairie situations. They're like, how do you they had to go to the school, find the teacher. How do you spell Eric? We're having a baby and thinking about Aaron naming it. It starts with the E. Anyways,
I think he could really be in the running. It's all dependent on how the offense goes. And I don't care what anybody says. Matthew Golden could have a lights out season, but if he doesn't have the stats to go with it, MVP, unfortunately, is always about stats and not necessarily valuable to the team. So if he gets a lot of touchdowns, though, like if he gets double-digit touchdowns, I could see it. But he's got it. It's not going to be so much about the yards and the catches. It's going to be about his to this point when we talked about the end zone stuff, right? If he's a hot red zone read, he could be MVP. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think he could be like you said. It depends how this offense goes. Like, are they going to be extremely run heavy? Are they going to be Josh Jacobs? Just which I think that they're going to be to a certain point, but like how much, like to what degree, and like does Romeo Doubs pop off? Because I feel like this offense is going to be the hot hand. Like if Romeo Doubs is not, he's catching everything. He's just doing stuff, or Reed or whoever is just doing their thing. They're going to keep going to him. And then Matthew Golden's going to find his spot. Yeah, Matthew Golden is going to have his spot. He's going to have his opportunities for sure. But like if the whole team is kind of like, it's working where they're just mixing it around, then he's not going to get, I think to be rookie of the year, you kind of have to have the ball forced to you. Like bad teams do that when they're like, oh, this is a star rookie wide receiver. We're just going to chuck the ball to him 100 times. But I think that if the Packers' whole offense, like Matt LaFleur's kind of way is spreading the ball around. So like, but we'll see. Cause I think if Matthew Golden is just like not dropping nothing, he's just catching, he's doing his thing, that they're going to keep going to him as well. The same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's how Justin Jefferson, that's how Justin Jefferson won rookie of the year, right? Because the Vikings sucked and they can only throw the ball to him. He was a talent. But they didn't win anything.
Very good. Yeah. But like that, that was the only thing.
The 0-time world champion Vikings, 0 time.
Dude, first of all, Iowa Joe, he's in the comments again. I appreciate Iowa Joe. Give a shout out to Iowa Joe. Because some of these comments are great. The one up here says, man, Ramage had to give up his whole Nicolay paycheck just to get that kind of acknowledgement. I think he's talking about that WBAY call from Garrett.
I'm telling you, he's got security there. Yeah, Matt's got security at WBAY.
I love Iowa Joe, his comments over here. But he says Golden just have to be better than the other rookie wide receivers to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Basically, that's what it is. But there's that rookie running back, right? Who's that top rookie running? I drafted him in fantasy, so I should know his name. Everyone's trying to trade me for him, but I won't give him up.
And also we got Cam Ward is the quarterback in the Titans, right? So there's a lot of things out there.
Yeah, and a quarterback, if he pops off, it's very hard to win Rookie of the Year over a quarterback that has a great, like Daniels type of situation. Was he Rookie of the Year last year? Was it Daniels in Washington?
Jaden Daniels from Washington, the quarterback, I think he was.
Yep.
I don't know for sure.
He should have been. I think he probably was. I don't remember any of the awards. I only remember MVPs when the Packers win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to that point, right, everybody's talking about these individual awards. And I think we'll go back to Jordan Love's comment, right? We're not here to win awards. We're here to win our 14th championship.
Yeah.
And we're ready and primed, and we're ready. And whatever comes with it, so be it. But you know what? I guarantee you nobody's going to be at that award ceremony this coming year from the Green Bay Packers because they'll be all at practice getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Let them know, Eric, baby. Let them know. Hang on. I'm actually going to give you like a sound effect on that. Let me find that.
Oh.
A little delayed there, but we got her in there. But here we go. Apologies to anyone driving right now. But I want to get to this comment right here. We're going to wrap this thing up soon. But Savion Williams is going to be special. Yeah, so he's the guy everyone's talking about. What are your thoughts on Savion Williams?
He's doing really good. I think he's a little bit down because he's been going through some injuries. I did see him at the training camp last week as well, and he was just running wind sprints, very focused, very intentional about trying to get himself in playing shape and what he's doing. I think he is going to be very special. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Hardman, whatever, McCurry, whatever his first name is.
You said
the
Hardman
guy,
names.
the guy from Kansas City. So yeah, that we took in McCall. Excuse me. I'm not making fun of the name. I'm making fun of my memory. Hardman. So Hardman is going to be very interesting because he was brought in specifically to be a returner. And that's where I see Savion Williams coming in as well as that returning aspect too, to start off his career with the Packers. So it'll be interesting to see where all that lands when everything shakes out. But again, it's a good problem to have. Whether you have Hardman, whether you have Savion Williams, whether, Keyshawn Nixon's not going to do it anymore. But we have a lot of talent back there that can do some things on special teams. That's the one thing that hasn't been brought up. I think that really needs to be talked about is the concerning play of our special teams the last 2 years. And I really hope that's in order this year and that we don't. Brandon McManus came back and saved our kicking game, but we still had way too many problems on special teams. That touchdown return by the Bears, some other things that happen, right? We can't have those this year. And Bisaccia has got to be all over that stuff and make sure we're not in another situation where we get embarrassed by the Bears. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm not laughing at your response. I'm just, this chat is on fire. I'm having a good time over here. All right, so Iowa Joe says, Ramage is the MDP, the most drunken person. Dude, let's tweak that, Iowa Joe. MDP, the most drunken podcaster. The most drunken podcaster.
There you go.
Let's get the shirts going, baby. I ain't sharing none with you, Iowa Joe.
Yep, you got to get you got to get that shirt so I can buy another one. I have all the Matt Ramage apparel.
Dude, you got to get it. You know what I mean? You can go to thematramage.com, get all the merch, check it out. We got hats. Dude, I got this hat I got going right here. This is a buzzed up hat right here. Or no, that's the Homer hat.
That's the Homer hat.
Yeah, that's the Homer hat.
I got buzzed up somewhere. I have a buzzed up shirt. You've seen me in it.
We got some good stuff. So go check out thematramage.com. But all right, so let's get to some few more comments here. We got Steve. Thoughts on Sterling Sharp Hall of Fame? Great comment there, Steve. I appreciate you. Yeah. Sterling Sharp, long time coming. We've been arguing about this for years. Not me and you, but like me and people on the internet. Because whenever I say it, like people are like, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Oh, he wasn't playing long enough. Like, but he was a premier player. Here's the thing. You're showing some autograph situations over here. There's Sterling Sharp. But like, if you like, Hall of Fame should be if they can't, when they tell the story of the NFL, the years you played, can they tell it without saying your name? That's how I feel like the Hall of Fame should be. So they can't talk about the 90s. They can't talk about like that story with Sterling Sharp was leading the league in touchdowns and yards multiple years in a row. Got the injury, so it wasn't sustained in the long term. But how many players that play 15 years do like what he did as far as leading the league and all those numbers? So like he was on pace with Jerry Rice. I think if you talk to Jerry Rice, I've never seen Jerry Rice talk about Sterling Sharp before. They got an interview or whatever. But I feel like he would say the same thing. Like Sterling Sharp was the real deal. Sterling Sharp is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and now he finally is. And now we had to figure out who we try to get in next. But what are your thoughts on Sterling Sharp going to the Hall of Fame?
So Sterling Sharp was somebody I absolutely adored. The one thing that people forget about is he set the NFL record with 108 receptions, and then the following year he broke his own record with 112 receptions. And this is before the league was as pass happy as they are today. So 2 years in a row, he sets the record for receptions, and he holds the record for touchdowns. Put that in perspective, right? I mean, it's unheard of. And yet, and he had Don Majkowski half of his career, and then he had Favre the other half of that career. But, I was I was happy to be at the instant replay game when they threw it when Don Makowski threw it to Sharp, being covered by 4 Bears. 4.
How old were you during that game?
I don't want to say. I was 23 back then.
Jesus, Eric.
Yeah, I was. And I was in the bag too, boy. It was a Bear game, so we were drinking heavily. But yeah, it was incredible. And we'd waited all that time, and I swear to God, I came out of the stadium, and that's when the Bears Still Suck really started off, right? It just kicked into gear. After further review, the Bears still suck because of the instant replay portion of it. But Sterling Sharp was something to watch. And just, my favorite catch of his of all time outside of the instant replay game, because it was the Bears, but that touchdown pass by Favre in the Detroit playoff game, when Favre threw it at midfield and Sterling Sharp was standing there just wide open, and he catches it and he looks around smiling like, how did I get this, right? And that was the thing about Sharp. He was such a class act too. He never ran his mouth. He was always just head down, work hard, do the best he can. And, I have nothing but praise and respect for that man, because, he had a tough time of it when his neck got injured, and it was just a tough gig. So,
dude, let's talk about that here for a second there, Eric, because I watched a clip from Sterling Sharp podcast with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, obviously, he's doing a lot of things on the internet. I'm not gonna this stuff.
Not all the things.
No, but like he's got his a great show, him and Ocho Cinco, whatever. He's doing his thing. But he had Sterling Sharp on his podcast. Sterling Sharp said after his neck injury, while he was in the hospital, and he's like, he didn't know he was gonna walk again, he didn't know the situation, he could potentially, his life is in danger.
Yeah.
And not one person from the Packers organization reached out to him while he's in the hospital. And I thought that was very interesting, because like what was going on back then? Because you think about Favre, he was obviously his quarterback. They had some kind of relationship. The coaches, like the GMs, everyone, no one reached out to him. Like, why do you think that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know per se why that is. I will say the new regime was very young to Sterling Sharp. Like Sterling Sharp had been there for a while, and then Ron Wolf came in, right? And Holmgren was there, and all those pieces came in. And there was a big contract dispute happening at that point too. That was happening. It was coming about because he was due up for a contract and he wanted more money, as we see with a lot of players who hit that kind of level of ability and skill. Now, I don't know. I don't want to speak on behalf of the Packers. I don't want to speak on behalf of Sterling Sharp. I just thought it was crappy the way it went down. I just felt the guy deserved a lot.
Yeah, so. And absolutely, because like I'm like, I'm known as a homer. That's why I got the hat. You know what I mean? That's why I got the hat there. I'm a homer.
I got the homer shirt too. I didn't wear it. So like, hit me.
I'm never like, I'm always pro Packers, but I think the Packers dropped the ball on that. Obviously, a long time ago and like whatever. But
and there's always stuff you don't know though, right? You don't know all the story. Right?
Oh yeah, there might have been like some. Like I'm not going to speculate, and but like I've seen all the conversations. People are saying, well, maybe this, maybe that, but we don't know. But I do think that you don't like to hear those stories. But
no,
that was a long time ago.
The Packers should have put him in a position that he could never comment that.
Dude, I think that. So what do you think, Sterling Sharp? All right, Sterling Sharp. The Packers don't put anyone in the Ring of Honor who's not in the Hall of Fame. Is that correct?
Correct.
So now that Sterling Sharp is in a Hall of Fame, do you think there's a situation? Because I think if he won a Super Bowl with the Packers, it's a lock. Done deal. No one's even going to ask a question about it. But do you think Sterling Sharp is a Ring of Honor type of player that the Packers would consider?
I think the two greatest wide receivers in Packer history are Don Hutson, Sterling Sharp. So, yeah, I think he should be up there.
Yeah.
And even though Donald Driver has the most receptions and yard right now, right? And there's an argument for him as well. But I think Sterling Sharp was a magical receiver. I mean, he was something. right?
Yeah.
So I think they should retire his number. 84 should be retired.
And
I
the
think that would
difference
be great.
between Sterling Sharp and Donald Driver, who I love Donald Driver.
Yeah.
And like I've never met him like one-on-one, but I was when I was at the Quick Trip thing, he was a judge when we pushed that, that
thing
bus
off the wherever that was. Yeah, I saw
off
that
the
thing.
cliff onto the water. He was a judge, so I was like 10 feet away from him, but like 47 people away from him also, because there was like a crowd or whatever. I love Donald Driver, but I think the difference between Donald Driver and Sterling Sharp is Sterling Sharp was the best wide receiver at like the years like he had the most touchdowns. Donald Driver really never did it. Donald Driver was a very consistent wide receiver, a deadly weapon. But like there was a lot of guys like he was obviously competing with around the league or whatever. But like he was just very consistent, very good. But like I'm not sure I'd put him on that Sterling Sharp level of. And I feel like I'm talking trash now. I feel like
no, you're not talking trash.
I love me some Donald Driver.
You're talking about one of the greatest in Packer history in Sterling Sharp. You're not talking about him versus, Perry Kemp or him versus Antonio Freeman. We're talking about Sterling Sharp. And when you're talking about Sterling, right, it's Don Hudson and Sterling Sharp. If you put it even in where they were, you got to remember he was under Lindy Infante.
Yeah.
He was playing under Lindy Infante with Don Majkowski. Okay.
Hey, first of all, Eric, before we mention Don Majkowski, you put a little respect on it.
Oh, yeah, Don, yes. So Don's great. I'm not saying that, but Lindy Infante had a little bit of a rough offense once in a while.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don Majkowski was the magic man. But dude,
if you give Sterling Sharp like if you'd have got there like when Favre got there, maybe like a year or two earlier, and he got to play and he didn't get hurt and he got to play his whole career, he would have had crazy numbers. Like
he would have been the greatest. He would have been the greatest. He would have outdone Megatron. Yeah. He would have outdone Jerry Rice. He would have outdone everyone.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, and all respect to Jerry Rice, because Jerry Rice is
Jerry Rice is incredible.
Yeah. He played more years of playing football than some people get like drive a forklift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Not most people, but like some people, they're like, no, that's enough of that. No, but like, Jerry Rice was that dude. But yeah, Sterling Sharp. I wonder if he gets put in the Ring of Honor at some point. I'd be with it.
He should.
If I had a vote, I would vote yes, just because he first of all, he was part of that nucleus of like kind of got the Packers on the right path, even though he wasn't there to like all the greatness. He kind of like he was there, and he like just lead the league how he did in those years. I think that why not?
So if you ever have time, just go to YouTube and pull up Sterling Sharp highlights and watch for an hour, and you'll just be blown away of what this guy's done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I want to get to another comment by Iowa Joe. He says, but who do you retire 80 for? You have Driver, but you also have James Lofton, and Lofton is a Hall of Fame player. Yeah, so that's why what I'm talking about. And Driver, like, because you have to be in the Hall of Fame to even be, thought about for the Ring of Honor in Green Bay. I don't know how they do it in Chicago.
But nobody's been. I don't think anybody's going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Chicago.
They have a lot of Hall of Famers over there, though. Overall,
they have 4 more than we do. But I think the last one to go in was what's his face, the linebacker.
Yeah,
Urlacher.
Yeah,
right,
he was a beast. I like Urlacher.
But who else?
You know why I like Urlacher? No, so let's talk about that. Big shout out to Iowa Joe over here. But
good job, Iowa Joe.
Yeah, we'll get back to that because I want to get sidetracked. You know why I like Urlacher so much? Because he said he hates the Packers, and I love that type of that rivalry when the players don't like each other. Like when Rodgers, I own you, which is absolutely right because he did, and I love it when like and then that Brisket guy who talks trash or I don't think he's there anymore. I've never seen him in a stat column, but he's always talking trash on Twitter about the Packers, and I love it, especially because he's not really a good player. He was never really.
He was a terrible player.
No, he was a Jag.
But
who was that media guy who said a Jag? You know what a Jag is? What? Just a guy. Just a guy. I think that's
a good call.
Steve Smith said that about. I forget. Who was that? He said it about. I think it was Golden Tate, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, Golden Tate. I still can't get over that Seattle game. That still sits in my craw. So that was a touchdown. It wasn't an interception. Just so everybody knows.
Absolutely. But yeah, so we got Tony checking in. We're gonna wrap this thing up here pretty quick. But Tony says he's listing the order of Packers wide receivers. He says Hudson, Sharp, Adams, Driver, Nelson. Is he missing anyone?
Lofton.
Yeah, Lofton. Yeah, we gotta get Lofton.
Lofton's got to be in there.
Yeah, Lofton's got to be in there. So where do you put Lofton? Do you put him above or below Adams? Because I feel like
I think he's right on par with Adams, like A1 and AB, right? And then Driver and then Nelson. But you can't leave Lofton out.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't know where you put him. Smarter people will figure that out. But I would think, I mean, I don't, because that was
the only thing I would say about Jordy is Jordy might have got pushed out because of his tenure. He didn't play as long as a lot of other players. So, but Jordy was an incredible talent. So I'm not going to knock Jordy one bit.
Yeah, Jordy, first of all, was so fun to watch.
Yeah,
such a good dude. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, so Tony says Lofton number 4.
I would do that. We got again Hudson.
Braden says. Braden said, "You talking about retiring number 80?" He said, "You retire for Jimmy Graham, obviously."
Damn. Now that guy was fun when he was here, and then he became a total, doorknob after he left.
I'm not sure he was even fun when he was here. Yeah. He's one of the guys. Like I don't talk bad about players, but if I was going to, he'd probably be one of them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Not a big fan of him.
No, I mean not even him personally, because like it's not personal. Just what came here, whatever. But look, Kevin says Devontae getting the Hall of Fame. So that's a good question. Devontae Adams, is Devontae Adams a Hall of Famer right now, or does he have to do a little bit more? And he's with the Rams, right? He's with the Rams.
Yeah, he's got to win a Super Bowl. He's got to be a particular piece to a Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah,
I think he's an incredible. Receiver,
I think if he would have stayed in Green Bay with Rodgers and like they kept him moving for about 2 or 3 years more at least, but like he went to the Raiders and they didn't do nothing, and he's throwing helmets, he's yelling at people, pushing photographers down and whatnot, and that's a joke. I love Devontae Adams. I think
then he went to the Jets.
I think
that didn't work out great.
Yeah, but he missed a few years with not having a quarterback and just being on bad teams. But I think Devontae Adams is one of the great wide receivers like of his time. But is he Hall of Fame? I'm not sure that he got that yet. But like if he balls out in the Rams, maybe they go to the Super Bowl, or even he just has ridiculous seasons, which I think he's very capable of. Devontae Adams is a very good wide receiver. He's a very good route runner. You don't have to be that great of a quarterback to get him the ball and like really feed him and like really get him involved. So hopefully, for him this year, I mean, unless they're playing the Packers or affects Packers anyway, but I got all love to Devontae, even though he yelled at me one time.
Oh, did he? Oh yeah, because the second base, right? Was that during
charity softball game, he yelled at me, but I actually talked to him after. He's like, it was all in fun. I was like, yeah, I had a blast. All right, so I think we're going to wrap this up. But Jesse's got a comment here. Eric, you want to get to it? He says, one player should be inducted to the Packers Hall of Fame is Peppers. I know he wasn't here long, but he did a lot for us. What do y'all think? I'm not sure about him. I mean, I think he's like a great player, and he's, he's a big part of the Packers of those years. But I'm not sure.
No, he's not. He's not I think he's Hall of Fame material, but I don't think he's Packers Hall of Fame material.
Yeah, because I'm just not sure he was here. I think a lot of it has to do with too is like how important were they to those years, and like what happened in those years. Did he win a Super Bowl? Did he get some championship games and whatnot? I mean, I wouldn't be against it if they did. I wouldn't be like that's stupid. I don't do that anyways. But like, I wouldn't be mad about it. But like, he's not someone who sticks out in my.
I wouldn't be mad about it either. But that 2014 championship loss to Seattle still sits in my craw, and how I'm sorry, but how Mike McCarthy or anybody made it back on that plane from that game was beyond me. And now I got over it, and I'm not bashing Mike McCarthy or anything else, but that was just a terrible, terrible outcome in Seattle. That Super Bowl was in hand. We were on our way, up 19-0. And then it just melted down, the worst meltdown ever. So, and he was a part of that. But Julius Peppers did a lot of great things. I just don't think he did
absolutely
enough. He didn't do enough to ingratiate himself into our Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the length of all that stuff. Okay, one last question for you, Eric. All right, so who's next for the Packers to go into the NFL Hall of Fame? The name that sticks out to me, and someone put it in the comment, I was trying to find it, I couldn't find it. Mike Holmgren. Do you think Mike Holmgren should be in the NFL Hall of Fame? You know, he got the Packers Super Bowl after 30 years not being there, and then the Seattle Seahawks brought them to the Super Bowl. They didn't win that thing,
No.
but Mike Holmgren, for me, yes, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But what says Eric?
Eric says yes, absolutely, because again, he resurrected something, and it was with Ron Wolf, and Ron Wolf is the NFL Hall of Fame, right? So
yeah,
you're going to put Ron Wolf in there. You got to put Holmgren in there because again, they resurrected, and you got to remember, there's nothing greater than Reggie White coming under Mike Holmgren, and there's nothing better. Just on the voicemail alone of, "Hey Reggie, this is God. You should go to Green Bay," and I mean, that should put him in the Hall of Fame right there. Just that was incredible. But Mike Holmgren, always a fan of it. You know, it hurt when he left and he went to Seattle, but I know he wanted to run the whole gig, and he did, and took Seattle to the Super Bowl. But Holmgren was something special, and again, to watch that all happen and go down and be a part of it. And I know I talked about this on a couple podcasts with the Green Bay guy with Ben. Right, is I waited my whole life, 30 years, waiting for that Super Bowl, and Holmgren's responsible for that. And you know, the guy is always going to have a place in my heart. So put him anywhere, put him everywhere. They should be in. He should be in the Ring of Honor. So,
oh yeah, I think he deserves all the stuff. Ring of Honor. I think it should be a Hall of Fame. You know, obviously NFL. Even just take the Packer fan out of it. He brought two teams to a Super Bowl. He kind of resurrected two teams because the Seahawks were trash when he went over there too. So he knows how to build a program. I think he's a big part of the Packers history. You can't tell the story, like I said earlier, about being in the Hall of Fame. If you can't tell the story of the NFL in those years without mentioning that person's name a few times, then they should be in the Hall of Fame. And Mike Holmgren was part of that. You know, he was in San Francisco too doing that thing. Like he knows how to coach good quarterbacks. And he figured it out too with Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah, he did. And,
I love Matt Hasselbeck.
But the one thing with Mike Holmgren and being around at that time, right, when you could run into that guy and he would just say hi to you. He would give you eye contact. He would engage you, right? And he would be at the mall. He'd be at Bay Park Square. You just walk out there and there's Mike Holmgren. "Hey, Mike," and he goes, "Hey," right? And he goes, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
And he was just a down to earth, really good fella. So
Harley driver. Motorcycle back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great guy, but you didn't mess around. He was fun to watch on the sidelines, man. I still remember that day he grabbed Billy Schrader by the helmet, by the face mask in Minnesota, and just pulled him to the bench. And I'm like, holy crap! Excuse me, I almost dropped the S-bomb there.
Dude, take it easy, Eric. This is a family show.
Yeah, but it was Holmgren was a delight. So I loved
absolutely. I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame. All right. A shout out to Steve. He said, "Thanks, guys. Have a great night." We're going to wrap this thing up there, Eric. But do you have any last words? That sounds bad. I don't have a sniper aimed at you or nothing like that.
No, that's all right. I'm just going to tell everybody. I know Matt and I might do something with this in the near future here, but everybody better strap on and get ready. Because the fun thing is, I remember in 1996 when the Packers were, going to be told that they're winning the Super Bowl. And then I remember Super Bowl 45 when nobody had the Packers picked to win the Super Bowl in the beginning of that year. And what happened? That was Rodgers' third year as a starter, and everything came out. I'm not kidding. Green Bay is going to be a force. And I'm tired about hearing about how great the NFC North is. It's good. It's great. Yeah. Green Bay this year is not going to lose 6 games or 5 games out of 6 in the NFC North by a total of 6 points this year. They're ready to come in and take it. So for all the people going, "Oh, they lost all these games in the North," I get it. And Detroit was a powerhouse, but they're done now. They've had the juice drained from them. And Campbell he's a good coach, but he doesn't have the firepower of intelligence around him. The Bears are the Bears, and they are who we think they are, and they are who they're going to be. And until they prove differently, they're going to melt down. The only team I'm really concerned about a little bit is O'Donnell and the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy. I think that could be, a bigger situation, but I don't think Green Bay has a problem with it. So what do they do this year? They go 13-4. They take home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to be in San Francisco. They will play the Buffalo Bills, and that could be a tough game with Josh Allen. But that's where I'm predicting. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I like it, Eric. And whenever someone says like, because the NFC North is a tough division, but like they act like it's 4 powerhouses. The Bears won 5 games last year.
Yeah,
they won 5 games last year. Yeah, they beat the Packers. And whenever the Bears talk about the Packers, they go, "Oh, you were 1 missed field goal away from the other." Yeah, you were too.
Yep,
you were a pretty close game to get in swept by the Packers. But that's just normal for you because you won 1 game since 2018. So you see Caleb Williams can't hit a net. You see that video? Threw like 6 balls, missed every one, and they ran away. And I love it. The Bears suck. Caleb Williams overhyped. Probably a good dude personally, but as a quarterback for the Chicago Bears, to heck with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is a big Packer fan though.
Yeah, he loves the Packers. I got the shirts. Go to thematramage.com and you can find all my merch. You can find all my places, social media. You can find my podcast if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, whatnot. And if you're listening on the podcast, be sure to follow me on whatever social media stuff that you do. Go to thematramage.com. You can find all that stuff. And Eric, he's 6 Values. What is it? 6 Values on Instagram, right?
Yeah, 6values.el and or beerguys911_Wisconsin. I drink more beer than anybody.
You know what I mean? Some would say that's a problem.
Well, not here.
Others say it's a solution. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Big shout out to Eric for
thank you for having me
tonight. You know what I mean? We got some outro music for you, Eric.
Welcome to the Ramage Show.
Come on. Hey, appreciate y'all listening. Big shout out to